very interesting play style, to say the least. But we are going to start with that winners match we talked about. Dark Wizzy on the run of the year for Dark Wizzy, going up against Grayson, who they have a little bit of a history, but it is one match several years ago, and I know so much has changed since that last one.
Again, we talk about, you know, pre-pandemic, right, is kind of when we think of the highest heights of Dark Wizzy, and that was sort of, you know, that's when they played, was right before the pandemic hit Frostbite, and was Dark Wizzy favored. But now, you know, on home turf, here's Grayson. I mean, just a long-standing bastion of the Dallas-Fort Worth and Texas scene as a whole, and you just got a little preview of why. Did go for a little bit of a read on Dark Wizzy's defensive movement, though, so was not able to immediately start off with that crazy Rob stock, but, you know, it's haymakers right out of the gate.
Definitely, and the gyro even almost covered it too, but Wizzy taking this small opportunity to try and tack on that damage with these signature Mario combos. So much verticality, and even really good defensive timing too, getting around that big hitbox of the Nair from Grayson so far.
Well, and defense is going to be one of the things that really defines Dark Wizzy's play. I mean, this is something that I think everybody has sort of noticed about him, is that it's not always the combo game from him. Right now, it certainly is. This is kind of what happens with Mario on Pokemon Stadium 2. This is the quintessential starter stage in this game, but Mario does a heck of a good job really taking advantage of the stage's layout.
Right, the platforms are phenomenal. We saw exactly why, but if Grayson can make it up with these off-stage plays, it could be an even game. It's going to be tough, though. Wizzy not really finding too many openings to give Grayson. It's just more combos after combo. The up special not taking it.
Yeah, no, you got to be exceedingly close to the blast zone to get that, and definitely not in the percentage window where you're going to take the Rob all the way off the top, but that is exactly what Grayson has been struggling with, although catching that wayward Nair, maybe trying to interrupt Grayson with an aerial, but he stayed firmly planted on the ground, able to land that anti-air and get the stocks back to even, but gonna have to do a heck of a lot of work to take a lead in this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but we could definitely see it happen. We already saw some crazy ideas from Grayson, just falling a little bit short. But if Wizzy doesn't make all of the right choices, it can definitely be Grayson's time to shine. Keeping that pressure up, throwing off of the stage again, and the gyro helping out a little bit right there, forcing the shield from Wizzy.
And there we go, I like that. That rising Nair as well. I mean, you talk about Grayson as, I guess what I always think of him as somebody from his region is that he's like the combo monster, right? Is that he's not really going to drop his inputs. He's going to kind of put himself where he wants to be at any given time. It's just a matter of deciphering his opponent. And so far, Dark Wizzy has been not undecipherable, but he has definitely been a quiz.
Right, it's a pop quiz too, because every move is so surprising. The down air, take him off the top. Fantastic stuff from Wizzy, mixing it up because we saw so many good grabs land, but then still the approaching aerials finding the space too.
Well, and that approaching aerials, right? That's the thing that you think about in this matchup, that maybe Mario doesn't have the best time with. Rob gets the bigger hitboxes. He has the advantage there. And it comes through with him being able to stuff that approach from Dark Wizzy, turn it into a combination to take that second stock, and again, bring it to an even game, much more even than we saw going into that first stock. But point being taken, right, is that if Mario does get in, the tough part for Rob is that he will get comboed for a long time, and Mario can stay on top of him every day of the week.
Exactly. We see that Grayson knows that too, playing pretty conservatively, pretty far back. Big opportunity here for Wizzy, though, bringing it all the way up to the platform. Up special might just do it, and it does. What a fantastic combo from Wizzy, and a fantastic game 1-2.
I mean, once again, you got to talk about Pokemon Stadium 2 in that matchup, right? That if we were on a different stage, probably does not get those early KOs on Grayson a couple of times, because that up B, again, you have to be really close to the blast zone to actually make it work. And, you know, Pokemon Stadium 2, higher platforms, lower ceiling, makes for a good time for Mario, and Rob does like the space to work with, but I mean, I think of Grayson as somebody that doesn't always need space to work with playing Rob. I think of him as somebody that's pretty comfortable scrapping.
I think even in that game, Wizzy was trying to put that pressure on, and Grayson was so comfortable staying at like a roll's distance and still trying to space out, wait for Wizzy to approach. The problems are when Wizzy finds the opening, just running away with it every time.
Oh, and he's going to get a lot of damage on his combos continuing here on Hollow Bastion. Not going to lead into the crazy KOs, doesn't have the, you know, the lowest top blast zone, not the highest either, especially when you take into account that platform, but not Mario cheese percents, right? So you see 97 on Grayson, that's just kind of the tax you're going to pay in this matchup.
Yeah, just the cost of doing business, kind of have to take that and then sort of reassess the situation. Wizzy, though, still breaking out new tricks, just so interesting. So many good options that we're not seeing quite yet. still keeping it fresh with all these different approaches and responses too. Oh.
I think that everybody kind of knows the score, that when it comes to neutral game, it's pretty tough to beat Wizzy when it comes to any Mario player out there. He is so measured in how he both uses his movement offensively and defensively, right, to bait something out from you or to just put himself in a better position. And here on the ledge trapping, right, sometimes you think of that as all about damage, but really, I mean, if you could break down your opponent to just a couple options that you're going to have to look out for, then you can definitely capitalize on that. But Grayson fights his way out, reads that roll in hard, taking the lead in the game one.
Finally, the platform's working out for Grayson, but Wizzy with another fantastic response. The up smash, catching that landing. Of course, Robs do love to try and land with that usually safe neutral air, but Mario up smash, such a good tool to break that up. And now they're looking for the opening. It's going to be the classic up throw combo starter. And Grayson putting the pressure on with some solid projectiles, but Wizzy found an in.
Ooh, just pushing Grayson off stage again. So let's see how that ledge trapping evolves over time, right? You got to really decipher what Rob can do, but here comes big damage. Trying to get really greedy with that forward air as well. It looked like Wizzy, I mean, again, maybe just not having faith that, hey, I can continue that juggle because Rob has all those good landing hitboxes like you're talking about. You have to be so precise with your spacing to punish it, and maybe paying a bit for it. That green is letting Grayson once again get back out to a lead, but great recovery by Wizzy.
Yeah, that little hit was so very important right there. The gyro playing a big part center stage here, but Wizzy finding some fantastic aerials with some really good timing mix-ups. The gyro still messing it up though. Grayson with a big pickup, the rotor arm taking the stock.
Yeah, knowing that Dark Wizzy was going to be in too much ending like that, I mean, like, he'd kind of have to commit to something to really beat out what Grayson's doing right there with that arm rotor. You'd really be giving Rob an opening with an aerial or something. So great call out there from Grayson, bringing Dark Wizzy down to last stock. Stage counter pick definitely seems to be working out for him as well, that just these open sides, and again, the fact that Rob just pound for pound has better aerials on that landing spot. I think that this does feel very conducive to Rob, especially in the disadvantage.
Yeah, we see some platform combos kind of come out. Back throw should probably, okay. 172 still not enough, but good stuff from Grayson to kind of avoid extending those combos too much. Good combo DI to get out of the vertical pressure, but there's only so many times you can get away with it. Wizzy still finding a nice back air, evens it up one stock apiece.
I almost question him going up there a little bit, knowing that Rob's running low on fuel. Grayson was up there for a hot minute, but then again, maybe realize that Grayson doesn't want to commit to anything while he's up there with the low fuel, because Dark Wizzy could play more conservatively. So chasing him up there did turn out to be a good option, just like that wake up B out of the shield, making sure that Grayson can't keep applying that pressure. And I love the chase after the down tilt too.
Yeah, what a mash though from Wizzy. Somehow finds a reversal through all that. The percents fairly even right now, especially if Wizzy lands an up air here. You have to watch out for those.
And not committing to any finisher, doesn't want to cash out because he gets an opportunity to do it later off the platform. That is why Mario on a platform is not a character you can contest, especially when you don't know the way out. And with Rob, you don't always have a way out.
And there were so many times where I thought the platform situation was pretty good for Grayson, but all it took was that one that mattered so very much. And Wizzy was so ready to capitalize on it. That down air is so versatile in general, but especially as a combo finisher against such a big body like Rob. And Grayson, I like the tag. It is Championship Sunday. I think we may need a hope and a prayer going into Game 3 here on Hollow Bastion.
Well, and again, Hollow Bastion didn't seem like a terrible pick, but it does come down to Grayson needing to adjust that game plan. I think that he really just needs to be, I think, willing to slow it down. Normally you'd think that Rob is really in control of the pace in this matchup. He's going to be the one setting it, but Wizzy has been able to kind of play in a perfect space where Grayson has to consider, okay, like, do I run all the way up like that, right, and start something up, or especially in that middle spot, where you don't really know what the right answer is. Maybe Dark Wizzy's going to react. Maybe you need to get aggressive. But if you go up close to Mario, you're going to take 82%. It's just going to happen.
Right. Like you said, it's a quiz, and I feel like they're all trick questions. Wizzy always has the answer. You approach, you get hit with an up air. You get hit with so many follow-ups. And if you don't approach, you have to deal with all of those projectiles, too. It is so difficult. Grayson's still trying to keep it close, but Wizzy's definitely got the momentum right now.
And taking the words out of my mouth and then putting them in a blender. I was like, oh, maybe Grayson needs to stop playing around this center platform. Maybe he needs to take things slower, be on the side, and then Wizzy approaches with an up air fair and then looks for it again. Oh my God. He was about to take the words back out of my mouth. He said, now I put it in a blender, now it's a smoothie. Right. And I'm going to drink it.
Unbelievable. Almost remixed it all one more time. Back to center here, though, which is a little bit better for Grayson, of course. Looking for the opening, but another fantastic up special from Wizzy.
Wow.
Oh.
Dude, the fact that Wizzy has been able to bait something out from Grayson almost every single time with this fake pressure that he goes in with and then just backs right off and then finds something punishable, even if it's not something big, but he can just fly right in, do some more damage, and the lead just continues to expand and expand. And this is where I start to get worried about Grayson, is that he's a player that does start to kind of feel like I gotta step on the gas pedal the further I get behind, but then if your opponent anticipates that, then it's tough to actually get momentum going.
Ooh, and that is kind of what Wizzy has been doing throughout the set, sort of feigning these dash-ins and dash-outs, forcing an option from Grayson, and then punishing accordingly. We're kind of seeing it pay off here, but this could be a big opportunity for Grayson to get some momentum back.
That was such a good idea with that up air on his shield, too. Not a lot of people are ready to react with that. But, again, maybe Wizzy does that up air on shield because he knows that, you know, the up air follow-up is not going to take the stock anyways.
Exactly. Really good stuff from Wizzy. Still, again, playing a little bit further back here, obviously because of the percent, but because he's found so much success baiting the options out from Grayson. Right there, the fireball approach to punish a mid-range gyro. So smart.
Here's Wizzy taking control of center stage right back immediately and not committing to run out of it because he knows that Grayson's sticking in that corner, looking for an opening, but he has not been able to take Dark Wizzy's first stock. And as a Rob player, you should be getting those. Great DI down, not get caught by continual up airs and perhaps a combo ender, but things are dire for Grayson.
Yeah, there's a lot of rage too. This throw definitely will do it and give Grayson some room to breathe and set up, but Wizzy is already looking to seal the deal right now. You cannot be that close to the ledge. Wizzy is looking for something devious.
I mean, if you're sitting at the ledge, the one thing that you know you can't get hit by is an up air because the forward air can follow up, and Wizzy was just looking for it raw. Has another opportunity to do it too because that's about half the fuel gone from Grayson, and the ledge trap does get to continue. I love the up B to, again, just continue the situation.
Right, it's just so great for Wizzy while Grayson's at the ledge. Finally finds a way up with a very scenic route, and that was a big opportunity, but an unfortunate miss for Grayson. Wizzy now back on the hunt. Oh,
wow. Yeah, doing the ledge trump and then getting right back on with the up air. Grayson just one hit away from croaking. And Dark Wizzy is definitely looking forward, even going for the air-to-air game. And, you know, those are some of the times you start to get worried, even though he's not quite able to take the stock right there, that maybe he gets too aggressive. But Grayson's still hanging on. Rob is big.
Unbelievable. Even the crowd groaned at that one. So surprising. And this flood is going to keep that edge guard situation going. But Wizzy has not been able to find the hit. Grayson's still holding on at 191.
He can't even get hit by a straight down air at this point. But the back air center stage, it will be enough. Just barely, but it is. Dark Wizzy with a 3-0 victory. A heck of a performance from him so far at Low Tier City, as he's going on to winners finals.
I definitely expected Wizzy to show up in general, but I have to say that checking that
I was
bracket,
hoping he would play, yeah.
Right. Checking the bracket earlier was a bit of a surprise. A pretty fantastic run for Dark Wizzy, continuing on, now sitting pretty in winners finals, going up against the winner of another fantastic set that we got lined up that I am so excited to see. I cannot stress it enough.
I am too, yeah. It'll probably be that other winners semifinals side of things with Shattuck and DJ Dom, but one of them will have to go up against Dark Wizzy. And, you know, I tend to think that both of those characters tend to do pretty well into Mario, but the way that Dark Wizzy's been playing, it feels like it didn't really feel like he was even necessarily playing the matchup that much against Grayson. It felt like he was playing against the player, figuring out what Grayson wants to do in certain situations where he gives him an impulse and says, what do you want to do here? And then he had a response ready every time.
Yeah, it was very sort of reactive play, sort of baiting that option out from Grayson, and we saw it work wonders for Wizzy too. Very different than the usual Mario approach we usually see, but I'm loving it. And I think that is probably a little bit of what we needed to see if we want to see some more Mario in the year 2023.
Yeah.
It's hard to just keep running in there year after year, you know?
What you have to have is a strong combo game. You have to be taking advantage of that because that's the best part of Mario's gameplay. And that's one of the places where it feels like Dark Wizzy's kind of fallen behind sometimes. We know that he's got the ability to play neutral, decipher what you're doing, all of that. But, I mean, after that, then you have to be able to capitalize. You can't just force yourself to win neutral 2 or 3 times as many times as your opponent.
Right.
You know? By the way, sorry if my face is blinding you all today.
The lights here are effective, and they're beautiful.
You can't say that they don't put on a good production here. I mean, you look at the entire venue behind us, which is I mean, sick that we get to see the entire venue behind us.
True.
This is a great shot. But, I mean, also, you've seen the stage. I mean, it is gorgeous.
Fantastic stuff, and a little intimidating too, but not for some of the players who are up there. We got Shattuck and DJ Don setting up, and I am interested to see how this shakes out because, as we said, DJ Don, a creative player to say the least, and Shattuck, an up-and-comer, and one of my favorite players still doing it with the Corrin, which has like been through a bit of a renaissance, I would say. A lot more confidence in that character as of late than we've seen through the career of Ultimate so far, so I'm excited to see how the run goes because at this point in the bracket, I think anybody could take it.
Yeah, it's there's a level of parity in this bracket that really makes you think that, I mean, like you're saying, I think that basically anybody could come out on top at this point.
Not as like a platitude either. I really do think anyone
Yeah, no,
could.
like actually, yeah. It's not one of those things where it's like, it's preordained. We kind of know what the grand finals is going to be. Maybe that. No, like actually, that the level of talent is like very close in this set. And you know, it's funny that you talk about, like Shattuck's an up-and-comer, right? Even though he is like very certainly a top player at this point. Like he's certainly earned that status. He's got enough good individual wins and good tournament placings and good runs, all of that, right? That you can say for sure, bona fide top level player, but we still talk about him as an up-and-comer because his potential just feels that limitless.
Definitely. That is a perfect way to encapsulate it. Like I feel like he's pretty solidified as a top player, but I just think there's still so much room to grow. I still am always talking to Dadik when I see him about that set at Collision 2022 that I got to commentate, where Shattuck took the win over Cosmos, and ever since then it's just been up and up, and I don't know where the ceiling is for the young phenom.
I am very interested to see just how far he can go, and I mean, again, low-tier cities would be such a poetic place for him to, you know, be able to win a tournament because, I mean, the first time that a lot of people ever got to see him play was 12 years old, getting his first PR win at Low-Tier City 7. What was that, 4 years ago? 5 years ago? I've lost track of time at this point. 2019, you do the math. I don't have a calculator in front of me. You know, when you're working with numbers that big, you have to be using a calculator. But yeah, no, he's here and he has not been faltering, to say the least. He has been on top of things.
I think when I was speaking to him earlier, I think one of the matches that he was most worried about was the match against Shu, which happened over on the side stream. But at the same time,